Friday woke Mr. Kipling.
Confectionery brands have always found novel ways to pique our interest. This 1980s Mr. Kipling advert reveals that all you needed to get your cake noticed was some cute as buttons kids. But as marketing expert Vari Russell explains, getting noticed in 2020 takes more than a catchy slogan.
People want to have experiences and brands want to take their consumers on experience journeys. Mr. Kipling's did a big BFG cake and that was all about the experience of seeing that big BFG cake. So I think there's more budget being spent in out-of-home and consumer engagement than standard advertising.
This buzz-generating 3-metre BFG sculpture was made entirely with Mr. Kipling cakes and was the handiwork of top cake artist Wibowo.
I mostly created something massive for PR projects. They want something that is showstopper. The size is very important for my clients, I guess.
Michelle has constructed eye-catching works for some of Britain's most cherished brands. And the best thing about her colossal creations? They're entirely edible.
I'd like to think myself as an artist, even though people don't usually consume the artwork, but I like doing something different.
Michelle's latest PR piece is one of her most ambitious yet. Ferry operator DFDS wants a cake sculpture of Amsterdam to celebrate the opening of a new service between the city and Newcastle.
So they wanted a cake to resemble the essence of Amsterdam. The tulips, houses, the canal, and
the coffee shops?
The windmills, obviously. I went there for my honeymoon, actually. It was a while ago, but it's still here.
Michelle's sponge sculpture will be a 7 by 5 foot depiction of Amsterdam. And she's packing it with a host of edible details. Chocolate railings, icing bicycles, and even a fondant ferry.
I always say yes first, even though I know it's challenging. I always say yes first and then figure it out later.
Michelle's delicious Dutch dessert is being constructed using a whopping 40 kilos of sponge and 15 kilos of thick buttercream.
Oh, this is super heavy, I can't even move it.
With less than a week before her cake's due in Newcastle, Michelle will need to get cracking carving all this sponge.
You measure a million times and cut only once. Sometimes at the back of my mind, I feel the worry, oh my God, can I do that or can I finish that in time? So far, so good.
Michelle's deadline is only days away. But will her cake be ready for its big date in Newcastle? Back in West Sussex, Michelle Wibowo has just a couple of days to finish her latest brand assignment. A mammoth 7 by 5 foot sculpture of Amsterdam made for ferry company DFDS. So she's letting us in on the tricks of the trade.
Well, this machine, my life savior. It will roll the icing into the thickness that I want. Otherwise, you'll be using the rolling pin and do this all day. I'm really nervous. I've got 2 more days to go to put all the details on the cake as well as on the landscape. So lots of late nights.
But with little time left, she's not making life easy. To give her cake sculpture that touch of Amsterdam authenticity,
fiddly bits, I love it.
She's handcrafting 65 individual bicycles entirely from icing.
Oh, this is going to take forever to make, especially if they break easily. It means I have to make like triple the amount I need.
But by morning, progress has been slow.
My stress level is probably 11 now.
After hours of fiddly bike work,
thank goodness.
Finally success. But she can't drop down a gear quite yet. She's got another 30 of these to make.
I still have lots of things to do. I've got to do the letters, the blades for the windmill, the handrails on the bridge. Clock is ticking away.
Michelle's a stickler for detail. Next up, she's forging 50 centimetres of railings made entirely with chocolate icing. And she's also piping in an entire field of tulips made with flavoured icing.
We're getting there. I'm nearly done. I just need to put these letters and then a few more details, and then that's it, done. Ah!
And after a hectic week of baking, carving and icing, Michelle's finally finished. 40 kilos of sponge transformed into a detailed depiction of Amsterdam, carved entirely from icing. It really does look good enough to eat.
I hope if there's any Dutch people there, they'll be impressed with it, and I hope I got the details right.
Hot-footing it up north, she'll be hoping her Amsterdam cake's the biggest Dutch thing to hit Newcastle since Ruud Gullit. Michelle's chuffed with her Amsterdam scene, but will the ferry operator be happy with this little slice of Holland?
Everyone in Newcastle is walking by just looking at saying how amazing. They don't believe it's cake, and I don't either. It looks amazing. Michelle has listened to the brief of what we wanted. She's created the feel of Amsterdam. It's perfect. I don't want to cut it.
It's got the thumbs up from the client, but is it the talk of the tune?
I couldn't believe it was a cake, so that's why I had to come back to make sure it was cake. It must have been cut. She's got a job and a half cutting it, like, because it's huge.
Do you know what? That bit's meant for you. There you go.
Thank you.
I think it's marvellous. Nice for a lovely cold day like this to get a treat.
I love the little braids with the bicycles on, because that's Amsterdam, isn't it? So I believe.
I'm feeling super tired, but I'm feeling super happy because the client is happy with the cake and it's totally paid off. It's totally worth it.